Hello and welcome everybody to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage and today we're going to be having a look at Ethereum. Before we jump into that though, I'd just like to say thank you for watching. If you're enjoying the content, please smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video, and leave us some feedback down below in the comment section. Also in the description you'll find a link to the Discord. Come check it out, it is free to join. Okay, so for the most part we are still looking for that possibility of this bigger extension to the upside here. Though, like I've said in previous videos, we need to be mindful that we could have completed into this high. For the time being, there isn't much to argue for an impulsive move to the downside, but there is a possibility that it can develop into it. So we're going to discuss that as well as the bullish potential here, as well as, there is still some potential that we could actually be already looking for this move down towards this B wave location here, which would be this 1448 to this 1192 zone. So it is possible that we could be starting this descent into this area, but really until we actually break this 1461, we can still look for some potential bullish moves to the upside. So let's get into the subwave. So we're talking about a couple of things in the previous video. One of them has actually, well, this is invalidated. What we were looking at was the potential of this looking for an additional fifth wave here. But we actually came down too low, and so we can't look at that anymore because basically we took this high. So this was just looking for the potential that we were extending out within the structure, but we lost this key support zone and we actually moved down too low, so that's invalidated. The other one that has invalidated is where we're looking at it in this sense. Um, where we're looking at this as a potential 1-2 and then looking for this as a 1-2, we actually came down across this this beginning move here, so we can't look at it like that anymore. Effectively, this one is also invalidated. So the way that I am looking at it, I've revised this count, and basically within the structure, what we're looking for is the potential that we could see something like this now. So we'd be treating this as a five-wave structure up into this high point. So it's not ideal, this move to the upside here, but it can be countered. Basically, we look at this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a 5 up into this high. So it doesn't break any rules, and it is still a valid count. So for as long as we actually hold this zone here of this 1595, this could still be looking to play out. And what we'd be looking for, so invalidation of these counts would actually be this 1595 would be this blue count that you can see here, and then the white count would be invalidated by this 1557 zone. So within this, what we're looking for is the possibility that we could actually look at this as a additional wave one here. And what we'd be looking for effectively would be a retracement down into this zone of this 50%, which would be this 1631. The 618 would be the 1623, and the lower range of 786 would be the 1610 zone. So we wouldn't want to lose this lower range really. A 786 retracement could potentially mean a retest of this channel again, and then we look to move away. So keeping an eye on this at the moment. Within this structure here, we can, as long as we actually hold this zone here, we can also argue that, we could see one more leg up here in a fifth, where this becomes a 1-2. This is all a third. We get a fourth here, and then we push up one more time for a fifth wave. So that's still on the cards. But for the most part, we can also count a completed five-wave move in here. So this is my preferred count at the moment, but if we do manage to hold this zone here that we're currently sitting in at about the 1651, or alternatively, if we just come down a little bit lower and sort of retest these highs at this 1644 range, we can still argue that, there could be a fourth wave in here and then one more fifth wave to the upside. So if we do get something like that, potentially a target range for that, if we're just looking at this as a fifth wave, would be this 1686 to the 1676 range. So that would be a zone we could actually look to push up into if we do get one more push up here to the upside as a fifth wave. However, like I said, for the time being, I'm looking at this as a completed move, and this will be the key zone for us to hold if we're looking for this blue count. A move down into the 618 area would then actually, and a move up towards a 1747 would be another piece to the puzzle saying that this is actually playing out. What we would have to see is whether this fourth wave finds support, and depending on where we actually come in here, this fourth wave could look to find support in this range of this 382, which would be this 17,000 zone again, to this 1684. If we do come back, if we do reach this 1747, and then we get a move which actually comes down below this 50% and more towards a 618 zone, it becomes less likely that this fifth wave is going to play out in that manner. And we'd have to be looking at this then potentially as a different kind of structure. And we're going to go over that now. So this is looking for this possibility of this count that we see here. The blue count is looking to be the third wave of the white count. However, it is also possible, we can't rule out that there's some extension in here, and these might not come down to as low as these levels, which could then push these target ranges up higher. Um, Basically, the bigger third wave confirmation is only up here at this 2076. So it's quite a long way to go here. We'd potentially be looking for, it wouldn't even surprise me if we did something like this, where this becomes a 1-2, we form another 1-2, and then this starts to progress up in that bigger structure. So something to keep an eye on. If we do start forming structure like this, where we form these higher lows, and this is a 5 wave move, this is a 5 wave move, and we retrace towards that 6187 to 61, the 50% to the 786 zone rather, then we could look for that progression to the upside and look for this bigger 5 wave move. We need to be careful though, we can also count this currently as a corrective structure. So that would be looking at this move slightly different. And I'm just going to actually turn off these other moves here for a second. And yeah, keep that on. So looking at this moves differently, looking at this as an A wave, this is looking for a potential B wave here. And we can see that within this, I'm counting it slightly different. I'm looking at this as an A, this is an this is a wave of the B wave, a connector wave. So this would be the whole B wave into this low point, and then looking for a C wave to the upside. So for the most part, we actually did take this A wave high, and we do have a 5 wave structure potentially. Like I said, this could look to push up a little bit more. If we do get some extension within it, where we get an additional fifth wave up here, which could look to push us up towards the 618 zone again, but we did get a rejection just off of the 1669 zone. So we also need to be aware that this could actually just be completed. If we are looking at this move, we could argue that after this connector wave, we could be looking for the C wave to the downside. So the current target would be this 1497 area, but it also does have this possibility to extend up a little bit here. So I'd be just a little bit cautious on this. This could develop into something like this, even where we actually do come up here, we've completed, we come back down, we find support, and then we push to the upside again. And then instead of this being a ABC, this could then become a W, an X, and a Y. And that could then look to target out this zone of the 1691. So this is going to be a key rejection area if we do move up higher here, this 1714 to this 1647. If we do break through this zone here of this 786, the 1714 zone, then we can start looking for that potential that actually we could already be within this third wave where this becomes a 1-2, we get a 3-4 and a 5. So once we start to break through these key zones, then it becomes a little bit more certain that we're getting that, well, not certain, but the probability becomes more likely that we are getting that move to the upside. So within this, effectively what we need to be careful of is, because of the 5 wave moves looking for the same thing, the 5 wave moves looking for this to complete, find support, and then looking for that bigger third wave. So if this fails to achieve that 1618, which is higher up, and just forms something like this where we get an ABC to a 1-1, potentially looking target out 786 or somewhere in the zone of that, that'd be an interesting area. It'd be a retest of all these highs up here. Then we could argue that from that point we could actually look for that continuation to the downside. So the higher this goes, the higher it pushes up the C wave target. But effectively, that's what I'm still looking at, that possibility that this could all still be a corrective structure here, where this becomes an A, B, and a C to the downside. Um, there is some argument for saying that we could be looking at some kind of a diagonal in here to the downside. So we need to just be a little bit careful within that, where we can argue something like this, where this becomes a 1-2, and then we get a diagonal here as another 1-2, and then we look to actually break down much deeper. But the thing is, it can be just as easy that this diagonal is just the C wave within this move. Or there's a couple of ways of counting this at the moment, so we just need to give it a bit more space. But if we do start to break down much deeper and we lose this low point, and we start to form impulsive structure, we need to just be a little bit careful within that. I have this marked out like this, but it wouldn't be really looking for this structure anymore. I don't think, not because of just because of the overlap that we have within here. We were talking about the fact that we could count this potentially as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but the fact that we have what looks to be a triangle in here just throws it. Doesn't make it very neat. But looking at it as a bigger diagonal here, potentially this triangle could be in between the move, where this is the third, fourth, and fifth. So, we can't quite rule it out yet. There is still potential to form it, but it's not, it doesn't have good form at the moment. So I'm just keeping an eye on it. But if we do fail to break these high points and then we actually look to break down lower, it depends exactly how high we come. But what I'd be looking for, so for instance, I'm just going to take it off this high. If we started to break down below this 14, 13, and when I say that, I mean as a direct sell-off, then we can start arguing that potentially we have a 1, 2, this becomes a fourth and a fifth, and then we could have an additional 1, 2 within this, where we get a bigger structure like this developing as a five-wave move to the downside. So we're just going to be a little bit careful with it. Like I said, the top end of this move leaves a lot up to interpretation. So for the time being, we need to just be a little bit cautious. If we do continue to hold these lows and look to push to the upside here, then I'll continue to look for that possibility that this fifth wave is still in play. However, if we start to lose some of these key zones, it basically, we start to run the risk that we're starting to break down deeper here. So, this 15, 16 is going to be a very key area. This zone, if we start to lose it, and consolidate below it, it's more likely we're going to actually look to break to the downside. So we just got to be just mindful of that fact. And like I said, we can also be looking at this as just uh, the beginning of this move where this becomes an A wave to the downside. And then we just get, something like this as a corrective structure up, potentially come back into these zones, retest this high point, and then actually look to break down. So keep an eye on this. There is that bullish potential, but at the moment it is a bit choppy. So just give it a bit of space. And if you are going to be trading, just make sure that you are using good risk management, because these moves are seeming to be all over the place at the moment, and they do. And I mean, by design, the whole idea is that these moves shake the market, shake people out of the market, and sort of take the longs, take the highs, take the longs, take the shorts, and then just carry on within the trend. So keep an eye on these key areas, and then that will hopefully guide you along the way. Everyone, I'm going to leave the video there. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video, and leave us some feedback down below. Also in the description, you'll find a link to Discord. Come check it out. It is free to join. Also in the description, you'll find affiliate links for BYBIT and PrimeXBT, both great exchanges that we use on a regular basis. Check them out if you don't have an account with them. Using the affiliate link does help support the channel, and we do appreciate it. Everyone have a great day. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.